We got a 1, a 2, a 3, and a hey now.
Metal Mike coming at ya.
It is Wednesday. And I just got the baby down for the nap. Both kids are back at school. Today the weather is, let's say, well, the wind chills that they're saying, parts of Minnesota are anywhere from minus 30 to minus 45, even parts of Minnesota, 49, almost 50. It's the tundra out there. A lot of the schools are closed here in Minnesota, but my two children, I was blessed. They went to school today, old school, just like we used to. What is this video about today? I thought I would shoot one on reality television because I feel I have a lot to say on that matter. Initially, the whole idea, let me turn this down a little bit, behind filming these videos was hoping that I could turn it into something and maybe get my own reality show. That was the fantasy I had back in, let's say, initially that idea came to me in about 2008. I remember sitting there and thinking, wow, man, with the technology, today, why wouldn't I just throw my hat in the ring? Why wouldn't I try? Of course, what would I want to do that for? To better myself. It isn't about fame. It isn't about being on TV. None of those things matter to me. I guess being on TV and giving something of substance to the public or to people in general, a heartfelt, real reality, I'm down with that. Showing the passion for what I do. I felt that with me out there junking in the dumpsters and my history, I have a lot to tell. I think that's the creative part of me, whether it's, like I've told you guys before, to write or to read a book or to do this. I've always done that. I've always had fantasies of doing my own comic book. And not just fantasies, but actually attempting. Not on 100% where I need to be on that, but those are definitely, I'm constantly circulating ideas of how can I express myself, leave something behind on this earth that is of value and can be used by others, and just to share my life and time here on earth. So, blah, 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 right? That was the whole idea behind maybe getting a reality show, but let's face it, better the family, money, financial, to be able to do more of what I want to do. So I got the flip camera, same one that I'm recording this on right here, and I began just pumping out videos, crude and rude, and not that they're any better today, but I've tried to fine-tune it. But here's the case. If that's your situation and you're thinking, hey, I want to throw my hat in the ring, let's face it, on YouTube there's hundreds. A lot of the guys that watch me make their own videos too, and maybe that's what their goal is, or maybe it's more along the, when I say that is their goal, meaning maybe they want to be on TV, success, money for their businesses, for their families, fame, who knows? Everyone has different there goes that word again, I can't kick it out. Aspirations? Maybe that's it. So, I threw my hat in the ring. I started pumping out these videos. About 2009, I started to get bites. And what does that mean? Production companies out of California started to contact me. Off the top, what was one of the first ones? I got contacted for a reality show, and the whole idea of that show was to have guys teamed up, and then they would basically go out in these teams across the U.S., and then they would go into the community, and you would have to score treasures, and in the end, I guess, whoever had the coolest items or made the most profit on the kickback, whatever they did, if they restored it or sold it at auction. And it was very similar to a British TV show, I think it's called, gosh, I forget the name of it, it's Flea Market, hosted by a rather cool personality British man, and two teams. Two players on each team go out to the flea markets, blah, blah, blah. So, let's get back to substance. What do you guys want? What am I trying to convey in this about? I'm talking about reality TV. As always, I'm all over the place, filibustering. Here's the deal. I got contacted by them about my own show. But I was interviewed over the phone for it. I had to get another partner in on it because they like to work in teams for these things. And I brought my friend Gags into the situation. It wasn't much longer after that I was contacted again by a different company. This one, what was the name of the company? Gosh, Adam Freeman runs it though. It's basically his company. The same guy that did some A&E shows, Gene Simmons, etc. Real high roller, simply meaning real legit, the real deal. They ended up sending a guy out from California, and they shot a sizzle with me and Todd for my own show. I thought I was going to get it. I was excited. They came out, but here were some of the problems that occurred. Number one, and after that fact even, let's kind of round it up. I've also, in the meantime, I've probably in total been contacted by 10 of these production companies, and each one promises the same thing. We want you to star in your own show. What these people are that are contacting you are basically pickers of people. No different than us going out looking for an antique. They're going out and getting personalities, gathering them, filing, doing a file on them, and having them in the file. They have a constant rotation of people they're throwing in front, trying to piece a puzzle together to hit to gain a hit show. Personality to personality. That's what they're seeking. Heard all the same things. They're kind of bullshit lines, but some of them you want to believe it. They say, "Oh, you're great on camera. You're a natural." I did countless. I did a couple Skype interviews. So they came out. They shot the sizzle, right? I'm gonna jump around on you. You know, that's my personality. But I think in the end, I will be able to convey my message. They came out. We shot a great sizzle. I think over 2 days. Went out in the alleys, did some garage sailing, did some old dumpster diving. But here's the reality of it. All shows are scripted, 100%. I was informed this from Brian, who came out and filmed me, and kind of gave me an inside behind the scenes of what really takes place. American Pickers, the story I heard was that, not story I heard, yeah, story I heard, that's all it is. I can't say anything more than that because I wasn't there to verify it. So it's rumored that Mike from American Pickers filmed shows or flip or little movies like what I'm doing right here and what everybody does, and went and knocked on every damn door. And it wasn't until he was able to hook up with someone, and they brought in Fritz, and they brought in the girl, and they pieced these things together. Supposedly they didn't even know the girl. Fritz was an old friend. Who knows, the long story short, but it's all scripted. So that's a part of it you're going to have to be ready for. And I don't have a problem with things being scripted because, number one, they need content. Basically, if they had the script from me, I would give them true stories. And that's what I did, because they would tell me, all right, we're going to drive down the alley. You're going to pretend like you found this here. Thing was I had an unlimited storytelling ability because of the reality of having lived it, so I was able to immediately pull thousands of stories up. I can go down in my basement, as you guys have seen, and pull any item down, give you the history where I got it, da-da-da. So it was easy for me to script. We shot that. They told me, and here was the thing, so they shoot the sizzle, and they took it out, they put it together, and then I asked, well, can I see it? Now, they don't like to send these out and let anyone get a hold of them, because obviously they own the rights to them. They told me they'd let me see the sizzle. I wanted to know how I was being presented. Was I being presented as an idiot, as a goofball, as someone knowing? In the meantime, I'm still getting contacted. From auction hunters, I think. I can't remember who wanted me just to do a guest show. So I called Adam Freeman. And I said, hey, I'm getting other bites here. What I was trying to do, I had hoped, was make them go, oh shit, we better sign this guy, lock him down, give him a little cash so that he'll stay with us. They immediately said that's basically what they wanted to do. They made me sign a year contract, not made me, asked me to. And I honestly felt that I should sign it with them. Foolishly, I signed a year contract for them with no money, which is not unheard of. But I did, because I had faith. Number one, they were connected with Gene Simmons, and I just, the success rate of what Adam Freeman's success was. But I started to lose my cool. I wasn't seeing the sizzle reel. I wasn't hearing back from them any positive stuff. So I started to get a little pissy, which was stupid on my part. So there's the lesson. You don't want to be pissy. You basically have to cast your line, let it sit. If you get bit, remember, 1 out of 1,000,000 get their own show. Very rare. So then I was locked down for a year. I couldn't do anything if I wanted to. So I quit making videos. I stopped for a long period there, and I rode my contract out. Since then, I've been contacted by a few other places. I've done maybe 2 or 3 Skype interviews. And so what I'm saying to you is you're going to get contacted by these people, and they're going to say, I was just contacted not even a month and a half ago and went through the whole process again. Why, I have no clue. Because I'm not interested in a TV show unless they pay me big money. And that's just not going to happen. But, long story short, here's the deal. You'll be contacted by these. They're going to promise you high hopes. We love you, da da da. Basically, like I said, they want to interview you, get that Skype interview, which they keep, get all your details, and then you get filed. I've been contacted from a second company since I did the last one, too. So, here's my advice. Stay grounded. Just remember, don't sign anything unless you got cash. There's no sense in signing anything and locking yourself down. Let your heart tell the truth, but a majority of the time these guys are going to tell you the same thing we've done, and they're going to give you a great resume. We did this show and that show and this show. That's all affiliated. Yeah, sure they did, but basically it's just a rough interview. These guys are no different than telemarketers or just pickers out in a estate sale. They're trying to pick as many people per week. There's probably a quota. Don't be negative. It's all feasible. If you have the heart and you have the passion and you're good on camera and you can speak and you're a natural and you're not faking it, you're not turning a light switch on to do it, you're just speaking from the heart, there's a good chance you could get your own show. Definitely. But just when it happens, when they contact you, don't get too overexcited, don't give too much away, don't tell too much of your personal history. And be aware of all that too. In the end, you're going to have to remember that if you were to get your own show, you're going to have to live by their rules, and you're going to instantly become public. Much more so than what we are right now. Even though I'm public and I'm putting this out there for the masses forever into the web world, I'm controlling it. I'm filming it. I'm deciding whether it goes out or not, and I'm okay with letting it out. Now to me, would I do a show now? Wow. Man, I would have to just write the show and be in 100% control of it, but honestly, no, because that's not going to happen. I'm not going to have that type of control. They have a formula, which was explained to me from one of the guys that came out that I met. It was very heartfelt and gave me a lot of the insight. There's a formula. There's always 3 people. They want that formula, and they like to stick to it because it's what works in Hollywood and it's forever. I thought it would be great for a reality show is if they actually went behind the scenes and filmed the people that pick the people. So if you just had a show based on a production company and their effort to find interesting and crazy people, because obviously you're going to go through millions of people over and over again, and so that cast constantly changes because there's millions of people that want to be on TV, right? So obviously you're doing tons of interviewing, just these characters. Oh, I thought to see that part of it. I expressed that to them. They were like, oh, hell no. It'll never fly. And then here's another thing to Los Angeles. After they get that sizzle reel, then they take it out and they shop it to all the networks. And they see if someone can bite. I think I talked to Adam Freeman once on the phone, and he just said, listen, there's no rhyme or reason. You can be hot as hell one day, dead the next, and the third day suddenly you're hot again. He said to me clearly, and this man knows. This is from a Hollywood big high roller, Adam Freeman. Look him up, do the research. He said to me word for word, there is no rhyme or reason to any of it. And that's the reality of it. So, I've told you my experience. Remember, just be wary. Don't get too overexcited when they contact you, because they're going to continue to contact you. What you want to get is money. If they're going to fly you somewhere, you want to get paid. You need some money. You want a hotel. You want this. You want that. But if they really want you, remember this. You're not going to have to do nothing. They're going to come to you, and they will give you. If they really want you, they're going to pay you up front. Maybe not a ton of money. Remember, in the beginning, you're not going to make shit in reality TV. That's the truth. It's not until your second season, and if it's a success, that you might have a little room to move and wiggle and make a little bit more money. Your third, a little more. Each season, you can gain a little bit more. But remember, you get too cocky, too smart mouth. I've been there. And I'm in the very early stages. I blew it. Because I pissed these guys off. Because I got pissed. Because, number one, when I sign a contract with you, based on loyalty, I'm old school, foolish. That's what old school is, right? I had faith in them, and I when they told me that they would show me the sizzle, I believed them. And then when they didn't do that, well, old school idiot here, lost my cool. Now, if I could go back and redo it, I could just sit calm. I would have never signed anything. I would have went when I was contacted by the auction hunters. I would have went and just did that show. I would have sat there and called Adam Freeman and said, "Hey man, I tried to use it, as a bargaining tool. I thought, if they think that this, which is a show that's up and running, wants to use me, maybe they're gonna tie me down and lock me up and get me some cash." Didn't work that way. You can't do it that way. Keep it pure. Keep to the passion of why you do it, just because you enjoy it. And if nothing comes of it that way, that's fine. Because remember, it's all information. The whole idea behind this is, number one, yeah, it's awesome that I can have my own TV show. That's what this is, right? This pitiful little camera. This is technology. This is beautiful. All right, guys. Baby's down for the nap. I've got a little time before my daughter gets home. I'm going to go downstairs and move that junk around in the bunker. Outside, 30 below zero, maybe, huh? Who knows? Maybe it's only 20 below. Maybe it's only 16 below. I love it. I'm trying to think right here if I need to respond to any comments that anyone had mentioned to me. Nothing other than to give a shout out to my loyal watchers, the guys that always contact me and are cool to me. Got to give a big shout out to Casey. I'm waiting on that box of junk, man. I am stoked because I'm doing a trade with one of my viewers, and I can't wait, man. It's like, whenever you get a box of junk getting sent to your house, and he's going to put some different stuff in there, I don't know what's going to be in there. How the hell does, for a guy like me that used to love digging in a box in the dumpster, and still does, and still will, in the van too, I don't know what to think. The day before it started to drop into this brutal tundra, I went out and fired the van up. And it fired. Barely, but it did. And then the day before yesterday, I went out there and charged it. It's not taking a charge. I don't know what the hell. I let it sit for an hour. Usually that's long enough for me to get to fire that van up, because I've had problems in the past. Usually a battery will take a charge in an hour, hour and a half, and fire. And if not that time, you give it another half an hour and it will fire for sure then. I wasn't able to get nothing the other day. And then yesterday I went out there again, and the gauge on the battery charger, it is just on zero. It'll jump a little when I attach it to the positive. I don't know. I'm going to go out there tomorrow, and I'm going to sand down the posts a little bit, and I'm going to give it a shot again, and I might even try to jump it with the Mazda. But I'm scared to do that because I don't want to fuck the Mazda up. Maybe it's the alternator. But then I don't see why it would have started 3 days ago. Could it be so brutally fucking cold out there that my battery just is fried from the brutalness of the cold? I don't know. Disheartened, though. Pissed. I love that old van. It's hideously huge. I don't have the space for it in my driveway. But it holds a ton of junk. And who doesn't want to do that rather than sell it and then maybe get another headache? I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm kind of considering getting one of those small transits. But then there's the old school heart in me that kind of wants a pickup truck with a camper and extend a box. And then I kind of want a van. Man. And then a part of me wants a wagon. Boy, if I only had a farm. If I only had a piece of farm and land. I'm not moving from here, though. I love this house. But if I did, I'd fill it up with cars. I would have a junkyard. I would have the most rad. It wouldn't matter if they ran or not. I'd like to just sit in them. I used to do that as a kid, go to the junkyard and just sit in cars until school ended. I'd skip school. All right, I've rambled enough. I'm relaxing, snug as a bug. In the cold tundra. Metal Mike. Hey now. Oh, everyone have a great day, man. Peace. I never look so good in the morning.